your easier assignments.
Yes, and well done to everyone for getting the time almost back. We are nearly back online, but that's it. We're racing for the SBK Irish EBF Mayor's Champion Hurdle Grade 1 contest over 2.5 miles, and it's Jade De Grugy who goes straight into the lead as they're going to race down along the side of the track to take 2 flights, and then they'll head up the straight. Wodhooh sits second, Place de la Nation is third, and the outsider I'll Raise a Glass is last of the 4. So taking that bend, that's going to bring them down along the side of the track. Jade De Grugy has gone on. That's the tactic, being followed in second by Wodhooh, who's just pressing her a little towards the outside. Back in third behind these is Place de la Nation and last of all, and she was a little slow obviously at the first, and the early back markers I'll Raise a Glass. Now they've got to race on towards flight number 2 before they turn into the straight, and it is Jade De Grugy on the inside. On the outside is Wodhooh. A break then to Place de la Nation and a long break back, opening up and widening to I'll Raise a Glass, who's last of the quartet. So now they race the bend that's going to bring them in toward the straight and on towards flight number 3 to come up to pass the stands first time. And it's Jade De Grugy who won this race last year, representing the Paul Townend and Willie Mullins team, being chased in second by Wodhooh for Gordon Elliott and Jack Kennedy. In third is Place de la Nation, the mount of Danny Mullins for Willie Mullins, and I'll Raise a Glass is Dara O'Keefe's mount for Martin Fitzgerald. Coming on now the approach towards flight number 3. Jade De Grugy, Wodhooh. Not much between them at Cheltenham, even less as they rise to this one. They're going to take off, in fact, I have to say possibly a new leader there, as Wodhooh comes right up on the outside of Jade De Grugy. They're going to make their way by together. If they're that tight next time around, it'll be quite the contest. It is Wodhooh over on the near side. Jack Kennedy, 102 winners this year. He's assured the champion spot. Back in second on the inside is Jade De Grugy, and Place de la Nation is back on third. And a good break to I'll Raise a Glass as they go on the approach now towards flight number 4. Wodhooh and Jade De Grugy take it together, they land in unison. Back in third, Place de la Nation, and I'll Raise a Glass is last as they turn now towards the top of the track and on towards flights 5 and 6. Wodhooh on the outside. She is 10 from 11 over hurdles. She always turns up over flights, and she was just beaten the once by Lossiemouth. No disgrace in that. Jade De Grugy gave her plenty to think about at Cheltenham, and she's making it quite the battle here as they go out over the brow of the hill and then begin to descend. Place de la Nation is just keeping tabs on the leaders, not letting them go too far away, and I'll Raise a Glass is last of the 4, and she will continue along behind in the hope of the €6,250 coming her way if she can stay between the flags on either side of the hurdle. So they come now towards the first of the flights down along the bottom of the track before they turn, and it's Wodhooh on the outside, Jade De Grugy the inner, and they're chased by Place de la Nation, and then last of all is I'll Raise a Glass. Now they make their way on towards the turn. That'll bring them into the back straight. Wodhooh just continuing to ensure the tempo stays high, being followed by Jade De Grugy on the inside. Place de la Nation is third, and Barry, Jade De Grugy set out to make the running, but Jack was never going to let her throttle down on Wodhooh, was he?
No, he wasn't, and Paul has tried to control the pace on Jade De Grugy, and hence Jack has gone forward on Wodhooh. But you see there, Wodhooh wasn't brilliant at that hurdle, wasn't too slick. It's not her natural place to lead. Jade De Grugy on the other hand is in Paul's hands. You can see him, but Paul is constantly trying to slow down. He's doing 31 mile an hour now, but he was doing 28, 29 mile an hour on the home straight the first time. So Wodhooh jumps through well. Paul is travelling nicely, but I'd say Paul is happy now to play his cards late, where Jack at this stage wants to force it on and make it the test of stamina.
Long run before they meet the next. Wodhooh has gone to the front. She's made her move. Jade De Grugy's now in her slipstream in second. Place de la Nation, to her credit, is not far out of it, back in third. She's only a couple of lengths off them, and they're a long way clear from I'll Raise a Glass. So they race to the turn now. That's going to bring them down along the side of the track. 2 on the side of the track and 1 in the straight. And it's Wodhooh from in second spot. Jade De Grugy. Place de la Nation is third, and a long break back to I'll Raise a Glass as they begin now to make their way on towards the flight coming down along the side of the track. Wodhooh and Jack Kennedy. Place de la Nation is just trying to close up behind Jade De Grugy as they come now to race towards the first of these two. Wodhooh over, Jade De Grugy in second. Place de la Nation has asked for her effort to try and just close up a little closer as well, and we might have thought it was a match, but Place de la Nation has other ideas. She's just trying to get on terms with them as they go towards the flight before the turn in. Wodhooh, Jade De Grugy. Place de la Nation has gone right up on the outside. They're clear from I'll Raise a Glass, who continues. Now they begin the turn towards home. They've got 1 flight left to jump, and the SBK Irish EBF EBF Mares Champion Hurdle. Grade 1 contest over 2.5, and it's Wodhooh from Jade De Grugy in second. Place de la Nation right there to challenge on the outside as they begin now to turn for home, and Wodhooh corners tightly. Then Jade De Grugy and Place de la Nation are trying to quicken up on the outside, but Wodhooh is quickened first. Jade De Grugy is taken on by Place de la Nation, but she's beginning to shake her off for the 2-3, but Place de la Nation's coming back for more. Wodhooh has them sweeping down the outside. Place de la Nation on the outside hasn't read the script. Jade De Grugy, the near side's trying to battle back her title from last year. Wodhooh is back in third. It won't be today. Place de la Nation has swept through. Jade De Grugy's trying to rally, but Place de la Nation, outsider of 3, there might have been 4, but Place de la Nation gets up to win from Jade De Grugy in second. Wodhooh is back in third, and IRE is back in 4. When it looked like a 2-horse race, you could have made an argument for Place de la Nation. IRE just finishes now, but well done to Danny Mullins, who has quite the habit of picking up Grade 1 contests. He's won many Grade 1s, almost never on the favourite, but he just has a way of coming out. This is a sister to Key de Bourbon in the colours of Jigginstown House. She's a daughter of Masked Marvel of a Mutatir mare. She's a novice who's just taken a very big step forward.
She has indeed. A canny ride, cat and mouse, and then the elephant that wasn't in the room enters the room. Place de la Nation. It was a really sedately run race. It probably didn't suit the eventual third, but give credit to the winner, Barry. She quickened up, she was gutsy.
She did, and you saw Paul take a look over to his left because Paul didn't want anyone pushing him up to take on Wodhooh early. The 2 horses, then Paul and Danny on the outside of shot, pull wide to keep away from Wodhooh. It takes him a little bit to get going, so Paul is happy he's picking up, but next thing Danny kicks into gear, and I'd say Danny becomes the main danger, and Place de la Nation starts to as they run towards the last, and she's finishing and she's flying down. Danny gets in tight but quick and slick, lands running, little tap, wakes her up, on she goes. Good performance for one who's only on the back after a great run of fairies.
Really good performance. Like, look at the stride of her as well as she lengthens towards the line as Wodhooh back in third place begins to tie up. But what a performance. Danny Mullins, congratulations, you've done it once again. Another Grade 1 in the bag on the outsider of the 3.
He took the Arkle on the second string. He's taken this and what looks like the second string as well. It is a marvellous riding achievement, and he's with Andy.
Yeah, just before I go to Danny, Jack Kennedy has dismounted Wodhooh. She, nothing too serious, but she doesn't look sound post-race, so that might somewhat explain her getting beaten. Danny, you've had an amazing year. They were saying that you've almost never ridden a favourite to win a Grade 1, but you actually have never ridden a favourite to win a Grade 1.
No, but when you're riding for Willie Mullins, you're riding good horses. What was this one? 10 to 1 there. 10 to 1 chances of Willie Mullins can win these races all day long. She's
and how many Grade 1s is it you've ridden?
That's 34 now, I think.
Without a favourite.
Unbelievable, to be a part of that team, to be riding for such good owners, Gigginstown today, a team at home like Willie Mullins, it makes my job a lot easier on the track.
There was a lot about more or less the match beforehand, and it looked early like it was between the two. They were sitting down, but at the end of the back straight you seemed to travel up into it fairly well.
That's it, I was a bit worried the first furlong. I jumped off quite cold, but with fillies, mares, it's better to ask than force, and once I asked her to warm up, she seemed to do that. Got jumping better down the back straight, and both myself and Paul knew we didn't want to force Wodhooh along. We were playing cat and mouse with each other about when to go, but we both knew what we were going to do.
Neither you wanted to help Wodhooh along.
That's it, she's a very tough mare and one of the best mares around, so to be able to beat her was fantastic. She's a bit tired there after a long season, but she seemed to walk in fine, so we'll do battle with her again next year.
And this mare picked up plenty herself, but while a bit of an outsider, she had a very good run at Cheltenham. She's a good mare herself.
She did, and a good run at Fairyhouse. So while we're saying others were busy, she was busy herself, and she's proven to be a real tough sort. She could put herself in the mix for the Mayor's Hurdle for Cheltenham next year with that performance today.
Well done, Danny.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Danny
Patrick
Mullins,
assistant trainer, champion amateur. Many congratulations. Was that a surprise?
Well, look, it was, but she's been a very consistent mare. She was second at the Grade 1 in Fairyhouse. She was placed in Cheltenham. It looks like Jack and Paul probably cut each other's throats a bit. And Danny, as he is wont to do, picked up the pieces.
In fairness to the winner, like, she had a great race behind Zanush at Fairyhouse, ran very well on the Ryanair at Cheltenham as well. She's a filly that we probably ignored a bit.
Yeah, look, she had definitely a high-class form in the mares, and if the other two didn't run to their very best, she was there. But I thought Danny just got the fractions right. You know, he's just lethal on those second strings, isn't he?
It's been an incredible season for you as well. Champion amateur again. We'll have the presentation of prizes around 5:15. Another wonderful, wonderful season.
Sure, look, it was a fantastic season. You know, and obviously Dan Skelton ran away with it in England, and Gordon has made us sweat here in Ireland. So the competition is getting harder every time. But my father, just his hunger for it is extraordinary.
Really special to you think about it, to win the Champion Hurdle, Queen Mother Championship, Skull Cup, Irish Grand National, to come back here. I think is that 13 in the week now? It's definitely 12.
I've run out of fingers, so it's above 10 anyway. But yeah, but look, and we had a slow start to the season. You know, in November we were very slow, and you know, Willie never panicked, and we're reaping the rewards of it now.